Hi, I'm Brittney Prophete, and this is MBA Now with Brian Vieaux. Brian is known for bringing fresh, forward-thinking ideas to the industry. Thank you for joining us today, Brian.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here on site.
Of course, thank you for coming in. So I know you have 30 years of experience in the mortgage and fintech industry. Can you let us know a little more about yourself and background?
Sure. So 30 plus, we'll say. I started right out of college as a loan officer. So I like to tell people when I got into the business, the par interest rate was around 10.5%. And I hired into a team of 6 people, and rates dropped like 200 basis points in the first 6 months. So our team of 6 went to 60. I was the tenured person on the team, and so I became a production supervisor very young in life and early in my career. And that was my taste of mortgage, and I've never left the industry since.
Yeah, and I know you've had a very successful career at FinLocker. Tell us a little more about what made you want to take on this role as MISMO president.
Yeah, so it's interesting because about 7 years ago, I decided to leave mortgage production. So I was, in the lending space for the better part of 28-ish years. And I was at this point in my career where I wanted to place a bet, mostly on myself, but also on FinLocker, which was an emerging, startup fintech. And so it was a big swing because I had only been in the mortgage space as a production manager, as a lender. And so making that move was a big move. And that's 6 years of operating in a very lean, a fintech that lacked resources. We were a small company with limited capital, limited resources. It really taught me some new skills and new ways to go about promoting a small company without traditional marketing budgets. So it's probably when I got really active on LinkedIn is promoting FinLocker. And when I learned about the opportunity with MISMO in the spring, I really thought about where MISMO is as an organization and where FinLocker was when I came in. And there's a lot of similarities. Even though MISMO's been around for 25 plus years, there's a lot of similarities in terms of what's needed to take it to the next level. And it starts with just building more awareness throughout the industry. And so, the skills I built, promoting and building a small fintech are going to be transferable into my role here at MISMO.
Yeah, building that awareness is critical to the success of MISMO and the industry as a whole. So I wanted to know, as you start your role, what are some of your goals and priorities in the first few months?
Sure. So I categorize these in the 3 A's: awareness, adoption, and alignment. So we're already in the awareness mode, right? We're having this conversation, which will get shared out to the membership. I've talked with a number of trade publications already. And generally what I would say is the industry understands the letters, MISMO. Fewer understand what all the letters mean, and even fewer understand the power of MISMO, and that we literally touch every loan that gets originated and serviced in the industry. So part of our awareness strategy is just to get out there and talk about all things MISMO. And then when we get into adoption is really the key. So we can talk about the benefit of MISMO all day long, but if lenders aren't adopting at scale, they're not going to see the ROI and the return on their investment. And then that goes right into alignment. And so if we build awareness, drive improved adoption, then we're going to be in a position to have better alignment with our members, our lenders, which we're funded by our members. And so alignment leads to funding. But I also like to think about alignment in terms of outside of the lender universe, there's the universe of regulators. And so we focus a lot at MISMO with identifying problems that the lenders want solved for, working with all the cohorts, the lenders, the vendors, the service providers, but we also align with regulators so that as we're solving problems between lenders and technology providers, the regulators that are overseeing our business are going to have a seat at the table. And hopefully that builds better transparency and then leads to more adoption. And then we've got this flywheel that just gets rolling for us.
Yeah, every piece plays a critical role, and it's a cycle that I'm sure is going to advance the industry. So I want to tell you thank you for sitting with me today and telling me about yourself and your goals for MISMO. And I really look forward to seeing what you have in store.
Thank you so much, Brittney.